guys, welcome back to day 9 of the 12 days of foundation. I will link to the first 8 videos down below. I've been putting a foundation to the test every day on my oily skin, showing you how it wears throughout the day, application, before and after, flash photo test. Today is all about a powder foundation, and I love powder foundations. I will link to my powder foundation routine down below if you're curious to see how I approach them. But today it is all about a fairly new foundation from Bare Minerals. It is their BarePRO Foundation, so let's get started. I don't have a ton of experience with Bare Minerals, but they've been around for a good while and were first known for their loose mineral foundations, their mineral concealers, so I feel like they really do know face products, and they've only more recently got into pressed products. I've always kind of stayed away from loose. It feels messy and I just kind of never got into it, but I do love powder foundations. This one retails for $30 USD or $36 Canadian, and you get 10 grams of product, which seems to be about standard for a face powder. There are 30 shades in the range, which if you have been watching my channel for any time, you know how excited I get about a nice wide shade range. I just hate when companies come out with like 6 colors. It's so limiting, so it's really nice to see that they put some thought and effort into the shade range. Let me know down below if you have tried this and if you've been able to find your shade and kind of how it worked out for you. I'm always curious to know how this is going to go for people of other skin types, other skin tones. I'm wearing mine in the shade 19 Toffee. I'm an NC42, NC43 for reference, so I'm going to go ahead and get into application. I will put a primer on one half of my face because I'm going to use a buffing brush all over my entire face. Generally, I'll switch between a beauty blender and a buffing brush, but today, because it's a powder foundation, I will prime one half of my face and we'll see if that makes any difference. So let's get into the application. It says it's a 12-hour wear foundation that's formulated with 90% vitamins and minerals for flawless coverage. BarePRO Performance Wear Powder delivers high-impact skin-matching mineral pigments that are suited for all skin tones. Formulated with skin-loving ingredients to support a healthy complexion, it's clinically shown to improve skin clarity, reduce the look of pore size, and control shine. It's dermatologist-tested, non-comedogenic, non-acnegenic, and hypoallergenic. Now that I've built up the foundation on my face, I probably did about 4 or 5 layers to get it to this beautiful medium finish, medium coverage, sorry. I'm really happy with the finish though. I think it looks like a really nice natural matte, doesn't look cakey or powdery on the skin, and I feel like I got a good color match as well. When you look on the Sephora website, there's actually a kind of little chart where it shows like all kinds of women's faces, gives you like undertones, so you'll be able to take a look there and at least try and find somebody who looks similar to you. I always find that really helpful, and when you're trying to match a foundation, I always just like Google the crap out of it and try and find people who look like me and check out their reviews and see what it looked like when it was going on their skin. That is like the best recommendation I can get, besides going into a store and getting a sample, because that is always an option as well, but not necessarily with a powder foundation. I'm really happy with this. As for the primed versus unprimed side, I think they look about the same. I used a pore filling primer, so it just, that's my cat, it just helps to kind of smooth out my skin a little bit on application, but in general they basically look about the same, and I used a Real Techniques buffing brush. I'm going to go ahead and do a flash photo test and go on about my day, but I will check back in with you first. And a quick shout out to a loyal subscriber of mine. He's been around for years. His name is Lucas, and he's been asking me to do this foundation review ever since I picked it up at IMATS, so here you go, Lucas. I hope you're enjoying it. I've got the rest of my makeup on now. I will list to everything that I'm wearing down below, but everything went on beautifully, and so far this is off to a great start. I have very high hopes for this. I wanted to mention as well in application that there was no real powder kick up, a little bit, but as I've experienced with a few powder foundations, some of them can be so soft, and that will cause you to run through them very fast because you'll get like so much powder kick up and like half of it will end up on you. So it's very densely packed in there, which I appreciate, but putting on the rest of my makeup was a dream. Everything blended out really nicely. I always put my concealer on first when I'm doing a powder foundation, and then I'll go in my powder foundation and the rest of my products. So I really like the way everything looks in photos. It performed very well as well. In kind of my studio lighting here, it looks great. There's a little bit of a natural sheen to the skin, and then in a flash photo test, it doesn't list having any SPF, so there was no real flashback, but sometimes you can get surprised and be like, what? And you end up like looking super ghostly on the face. So I think it looked awesome. It is currently 7:36, so I will check back with you guys at the end of the day. So I am back and I am a little shiny for sure. It's just after 5 o'clock. I've had this foundation on since 7:40 this morning. I do think it held up really nicely. It's worn away a little bit right here because it's freezing outside and my nose was running. I hope that's not too much information. But what I love about powder foundations is how versatile they are and how you can so easily kind of build on it. So that's one of my favorite things about the MAC Studio Fix powder is that like I can wear that, and then later on in the day if I want to blot and then go in with more powder, it doesn't look super cakey on my skin. So that's what I'm going to try now. I'm just going to blot and then we're going to go back in with the powder and I feel like I'm going to be good to go. So now I'm just going to buff this back into my skin again. Something that I love about powder foundations in general is how fast they are. Like I'm filming these, I've got a full-time job, I'm filming all of these foundation reviews before and after I get home from work, and this morning like I left way earlier than I normally do when I do the liquid foundation reviews. Now that I've gone and buffed that back into my skin, I think it looks really good. It doesn't look cakey on my skin. I definitely would advise blotting before powdering, but I think that it looks nice. If you have a normal to combination skin, this could be a great option. If you have oily skin, you're not gonna be able to get throughout the day without blotting, in my opinion and my experience, but let me know down below if you have tried this and how it worked for you, no matter your skin type. Overall, I do really like this. I think it's gonna be something that I'm gonna wear on casual days, on something where I want to like get out the door very fast, or also to set a liquid foundation that I want to bump up the coverage. I'm super happy with this. I like the price. I love the number of shades, and although it didn't keep me matte all day, I do think it held up well, with the exception of some oil coming through, but that's nothing a little bit of blotting and powder can't help, because that's oily skin life. Let me know down below if you have tried this, and if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!